Hello and welcome. I'm JQ Rose, and you're invited to come along on a tour of St. Augustine, Florida. I'm peeking out from behind this gorgeous Christmas tree to say hello. The tree graces the lobby of the Flagler College in St. Augustine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. This is a map of Florida, and the blue arrow on the right side is pointing to St. Augustine. It's located on the northeast coast of Florida, on the Atlantic Ocean, which offers tremendously beautiful sights of the ocean. We drove across Florida to go to St. Augustine, and here we are, very excited to be crossing the Bridge of Lions into the historic downtown. St. Augustine is the oldest European-occupied city in the United States. It's going to be celebrating 450 years since the Spanish explorer Pedro Menendez founded the city. The Bridge of Lions, of course, gets its name from the lions that grace the end of the bridge as you enter the city. These lions were gifts from Dr. Andrew Anderson, the builder of the plantation-style house located in the city. He spent the last decade of his life putting works of art in public places in the ancient city. This is the river that we crossed on the bridge, and you can look back to see the bridge as we drive along the riverside here, and you will see lots of beautiful boats and sailboats there. This is a romantic way to tour the city, through it the horse and carriage, and a lot of fun. We didn't choose to go with the romantic view and tour of the city, but instead, this was our method of transportation. Yep, this is the trolley that bumps and jiggles you along the streets of St. Augustine, but it's a wonderful way to see the city and to find out so much information. The trolley drivers are very entertaining, and they know a lot. St. Augustine hosts crowds from all over the United States and the world to experience the mystery and magic of the city. During the holiday season and into February, the city is transformed into a magical place with Christmas lights adorning old buildings and landscapes during their nights of lights. Unfortunately, I didn't get any good shots of the lights, so I invite you to visit next year and experience St. Augustine for yourself, if at all possible. Here's the condo view. Yes, the view from our balcony. And after a quick drive through the downtown area, we checked into our condo. Our friends came with us to experience St. Augustine, and we had a great time together. As they're sitting on the balcony, I told them to act at least like they were having a good time. And sure enough, they're having a good time. What a wonderful time together we had. The next morning, we went down to the St. Augustine to begin our tour using the trolley, of course. As we walked along the street toward the trolley, we passed this magnificent building. This was originally the Hotel Ponce de Leon, which is a luxurious hotel that was built in 1885 by Henry Flagler. It's built in the Spanish Renaissance style, and it had 450 rooms. In 1968, the site became the home of Flagler College, a liberal arts college with 2,600 students. The hotel had electricity 4 years before the White House in Washington, D.C. But being that electricity was so new, people were afraid to even turn the light switches on. They would request the kerosene lamps instead of turning on the switches. They'd be kind of like me, with a new microwave. I was afraid to turn that thing on, too. There's a nautical theme throughout the hotel. Now, this fountain in front demonstrates this idea. You'll see 12 frogs at the base of the fountain, and these symbolize the 12 months of the year. The 4 turtles beneath the fountain symbolize the 4 seasons. This is just the front entrance of the magnificent building. We entered through that door into the almost jaw-dropping lobby. Gorgeous craftsmanship and beauty, and so many things that a picture just can't pick up. But the Christmas tree was beautiful, and the rotunda there, if you look around, you'll see the lights that circle the rotunda. And these are actually golden lion heads. The light bulbs are in the mouths of the lions. In this lobby, off the lobby, there is the security office. This is where people would come to check in for their 3-month stay during the winter and hand over the payment for their stay, which was $100,000 per guest for January through March. You can imagine the wads of cash exchanged at this time because no credit cards in the 1880s. Yes, this is the dome that is in the ceiling of the rotunda, and that is real gold up there. And this magnificent dining room features Tiffany's stained glass windows. They go all around the outside of this dining room. The insurance company has set the value of these stained glass windows by Tiffany at $131 million. Now, if you want to have a delicious tour of a factory, visit the Whetstone Chocolate Factory. This is Ty. He was our guide through the factory, and in fact, I already featured this tour on the visit. If you visit the JQ Rose blog on Monday, December 22nd, you can see the pictures of the tour. It's a great time to have lots of samples of chocolate and to learn all about white chocolate and dark chocolate and their properties, and what a delightful time. Next, we stopped into the historic Cathedral of St. Augustine. The parish of St. Augustine is the oldest parish within the present-day United States. The first Mass was celebrated by Spaniard Pedro Menendez with his men in September 1565. As we entered the sanctuary, we could just feel the peace and the holiness there. It was a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. This is the Advent wreath that graced the sanctuary up front, and it was decorated with fresh flowers and greens. If you're a shopper, this will be the place for you to go. This is St. George Street, and it is actually only foot traffic. The great shops and fun places along the street there are mixed in with restaurants. As you walk along the street, you'll have delightful smells from the restaurant. Makes you hungry. This is one of the famous landmarks that is in St. Augustine, the historic fort Castillo de St. Augustine, and it is a national monument. After 9 wooden forts were destroyed by fire and storms, the Queen of Spain ordered the walls built of stone in 1672. Using what was available there in that area, the walls were built of coquina rock, which includes the little shells mixed in with rocks and sandstone and everything to make the concrete. They were amazed to discover that this coquina rock protected the fort so well from cannon fire, because when they fired the cannonballs, the balls were just absorbed by the coquina rock instead of shattering. No damage at all to these 18-foot wide walls. Inside the fort, you will see lots of rooms that are available for storage of provisions, the chapel, the prison, sleeping areas. But I was surprised to discover that the soldiers that manned this fort didn't actually live there. Besides soldiers, they were also settlers, and they had other businesses outside the fort. So they did their shift, and they went home and went to work in their farms or their business. The Spanish soldiers there did a wonderful job of explaining the times and also the history and information. These are volunteers, and they are all dressed up. The rangers are also there. The park rangers are also dressed in the Spanish uniform and offer wonderful information. We climbed I don't know how many steps all the way to the top of the fort to stand on the gun deck where the cannons were fired. This was an amazing view from atop the gun deck. You could see the beautiful city on one side of us and all the waterways that led out to the ocean on the other side. I wish the photos could capture all the beauty of St. Augustine and its mixture of cultures. You're missing out on all the creaking and bumps riding the trolley and the sounds and smells that we experienced as we toured the city. But perhaps you got a little taste of the city through the pictures, I hope. Thanks for joining me for this presentation.